There's nowhere to hide, scuba companies. We're coming for you.
Coming for you.
Before we get started, I'd just like to take a second to thank our patrons who make videos like this possible. If you'd like to support Dive 5, check out the link to Patreon in the description. All right, Halcyon.
Oh, it's hard for me to disparage Halcyon because that's the first.
It's the Blue H webbing stuff.
It's the first backplate that I ever purchased. I purchased it in like 2001 off like some hot sale at Dolphin Dive in Sacramento. And they're like, "Oh yeah, you need this thing." I'm like, "Cool, bro." And man, that thing lasted me. I mean, I still have the same plate, and the webbing lasted me forever. Their dive knife, that little tiny thing with the little, that thing's sick.
Yeah.
I lost it.
Aw.
I used it for something and I put it down in the sand and I came back and it was so rough and it was gone. But
Halcyon's one of those things that I don't buy usually because the places that I shop don't carry it. However, most of their stuff, I'm just gonna give them an A. I think. What do you think?
Damn, I don't know.
I would use anything of theirs.
I would.
It might not be my first choice, but if it was all I had, I would not be complaining.
I want that knife again. I'll tell you that. I'll give them an A if they.
If they send you a knife,
give me that knife.
I've been doing this for a while. They're not sending you shit.
Cool. B.
Hog.
Hogs. What? It's an acronym even. It's like a '90s rap group.
Highly optimized gear.
Highly optimized gear. What does that? Does it go through a process in order to attain that accreditation?
I had some of their old regs, not the new ones, but the ones that look like XTX 50s.
Yep.
And they were fine.
The black ones?
I think they were black. Yeah. And they had like a little red environmental seal.
Yeah, those little things.
They were fine. However, their wings, I've seen multiple of their wings falling apart. Maybe they've gotten better. Haven't seen them in a while. I don't like to call things trash, but that side mount BC they came out with was trash.
But that's a really good point where it's like, yeah, I have not seen them in a while.
Yeah.
That's
true. Yeah, that's true. I have not seen them in a while.
Not saying one thing or the other. Who knows what the heck they're doing these days?
But this is just a stupid video. Don't listen to me. I mean, you should listen to me. Subscribe. I'm gonna give Hog our first C.
Oh shit.
Because they're not really innovating all that much. That BCD was an innovation, the side mount BCD, but it wasn't a good one.
Catch up.
Unfortunately, yeah. I see. Hollis. Me likey Hollis.
They're f***ing great. There's very few things of Hollis that I don't think that I would happily purchase.
Wouldn't.
Would not.
Yeah. We both use Hollis side mount BCDs.
Hell yeah.
The newer ones. And Hollis has done a great job of evolving. Their BCDs are constantly changing.
They keep up with everything, I feel like, and they're always kind of like in there. I mean, right, the side mount BC is tailored for the rebreather that we use.
Yep.
Their customer service is ballin'. My last wing was replaced literally just because I destroyed the living hell out of it and has a lifetime warranty, so they replaced the wing.
That's great.
How can I literally argue with that ever? Have I used any of their regs? No, friend, I have not. Have I heard fine things? Yeah, sure.
Oh, I was gonna give them an S tier, but they did have some issues with one of their newer regs. Remember Nate?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you don't care. I didn't say his last name. It's fine.
Okay.
But remember, he
bleep it out, can't you?
Yeah, maybe I'll bleep everything. But anyway, he had problems with his regs. It took them a while to sort them out. I believe
that's right.
I don't know if it was like there were 2 recalls or something, or they did the recall and then his reg still wasn't performing properly. So I think that, unfortunately, even though I love Hollis, I'm going to have to give them an A instead of an S, which is still a great grade.
They will survive.
They'll survive. I just put this one on here so that you and I can yell out S real fast. JJ.
S bulletproof.
Yes! No one can say anything bad about
Yep.
JJ Rebreathers.
Put that shit in a barrel, kick it downhill, and it'll be perfect after you come out.
I saw a dude.
That shit will still fly.
I was diving in Budapest, and they had a JJ there, and this guy had welded like a shield to go, like a big metal shield to go
Really?
over the top of his JJ, and I was like, this shit don't need that.
Yeah. These things are amazing. Every time I look at the construction of those things, man, I would, if I had the money and if I were to go back in time and do back mount over again, for Rebreather, I would definitely do JJ.
Yeah, it'd be.
Man, the construction's so good.
Kiss
tight.
Rebreathers.
Hotness. You can change them however you like. S tier, I would say. I don't give
S tier.
Yeah.
I mean, Kiss Rebreathers. They just rule. I love them.
Not only that, with them becoming extremely popular, they're still adapting, trying to get better. They do a great job.
They're streamlining their process. Every time you see a new Sidewinder, after a while, they're usually a little bit different because they're constantly innovating. They're not done perfecting it, and I love that. It gives me a steady stream of new things to buy.
Great staff.
Oh, the staff! Don't even get me started. Shout out to all the KISS staff. I love you.
Everyone that they support and that they utilize as instructors and representatives, like they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Huge fan.
Mares. Not S tier.
Fins are tight, masks are fine. Everything else after that, C. I really
They
don't
own
care.
Revo now.
Oh my god.
That complicates things. Revo makes great rebreathers.
However, they put out that weird semi-closed rebreather thing, or whatever the heck it was. I don't even know.
If you're trying to make a semi-closed rebreather, it's a pretty cool one.
Hard to even pull out, like, from the mess of that.
I don't understand how you sell that thing unless it can be upgraded into a CCR. But it's too expensive. And just buy a CCR.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go rebreather, just go CCR. Go for a Revo, or go for a KISS, or go for a JJ, something like that. Some people really like their regs, and their new backplate and wings, not too bad.
Okay.
I'm gonna give them a B because those fins rule.
Those fins absolutely 100% rule. If you're gonna buy fins, you should probably do it from Mares, period. Man, you go down to Mexico, everybody there has Avanti Quattros.
In Florida,
Everybody does. They do not screw around because they got those big ass sidewalls.
We didn't
back
talk
up.
about the fins with dive right. In Florida,
Everyone
they're
has
the Mares of Florida. Everybody's using those fins.
You can cut that in. Those dive right fins. Man,
just added it.
everybody has them. All over the place.
Oceanic?
You can say Oceanic? Oceanic?
Oh, sorry. Let's do that real quick. I need one more lead in. Oceanic?
Oceanic?
Ocean Panic?
The
I used to love Oceanic. When I first started diving, that's what my instructor wore, and I was like, that dude is awesome. That stuff is awesome.
So I feel when I first started dive guiding, all of the experienced dive guides, and this is right around I feel like when Suunto was starting to become kind of popular. They had like a fewer very like entry-level computers that people were like picking up like crazy. Things like the Gecko and things of that nature, whatever the heck. But man, everyone who was an experienced dive guide had Oceanic because their algorithm, like no one ever went to deco with Oceanic.
It's magic.
To this day, I have several friends who are like, no, my Oceanic is just fine.
Yeah.
Doing great.
How's your body?
Yeah, well.
Granted, I don't know anybody that used one and went into, or actually had the bends, off the top of my head.
I don't know. I mean, not in person.
I've always liked, even on the recreational stuff, I've always liked Oceanic styling. I thought their stuff looked really cool. And their parent company is Hollis, and Hollis rules. Although a lot of their stuff is plasticky, I'm gonna give them a C. I could go lower, but Hollis.
About it.
OMS, Ocean Management Systems.
I have no opinion. One way or the other.
I had an OMS canister light that did me just fine, but other than that,
fun.
I don't like their new regs. I think that routing is weird. I don't think it's useful. I don't think it needed to be changed. Their wings are huge. The bondage wings with the bungees all over them to get caught on stuff.
Back in the day, I thought those bondage wings were tight. Like when I saw the bungees around the wing, I was like, oh yeah.
That tells me a lot about you.
That's right.
Their stuff can be stout, I'll give them that, and that's the only reason why I'm not going to give them an F.
Did they make that wing that was like of the material that you couldn't?
Oxycheck.
That was Oxycheck.
They're next on the
Okay,
list.
good point. Good point.
Next on the list.
Segway.
Oxycheck.
Those wings were tight.
They are.
Yeah,
They're nice.
It's super cool. You could take a knife across them, cut them. Oxycheck makes some fine stuff. I think I think their technical diving, like history of a pedigree. I think
The Apex wings were either they bought the design from Oxycheck or something, but they're almost exactly like them.
Oh, they do have like the shortened, kind of like
Yeah, like
compact.
thinner, so they don't roll up in the tank. Oxycheck, I'm pretty sure, did that first. And now Dive Gear Express has a wing that looks just like it. So maybe they did a bad job of patenting it.
Oxycheck were the first ones out with those exact same wings in a whole bunch of different colors, trying to like make them super popular too.
Plus, they make that El Cheapo analyzer that you can like buy and solder together yourself. I'm into that. I like projects, so I think that's cool, Oxycheck. You're gonna beat Scubapro.
I'll give them an A immediately. Tons of nonsense I don't need, but their mask is my mask. I use a Scubapro mask every single day. Doesn't matter. I have 3 of them, and I will use them probably until I die.
They've been around for long enough. They probably will be around.
Hopefully due to scuba diving. And that thing's amazing. They also have excellent warranties.
The regulators are fantastic.
Their regulators are absolutely
and
fantastic.
They consider their technicians. They consider, making the reg better to service. And the best thing about Scubapro, let's say you sit on your second stage and crack the housing or box bottom, whatever you want to call it. The parts, like they're either the warranty is going to cover it or the parts are so cheap. That's one thing about Apex. You do something like that with Apex, you're gonna be spending a lot of money. But with the Scubapro, it's like, oh well, not that big of a deal. I'm giving them A for sure. Solid A.
Hot tick against Scubapro were those wetsuits that had the zipper at the angle.
Oh no, don't like that.
We're done.
I had one of those. It was so hard to zip up. I'm sure they were like, you're doing it wrong. Well, if I don't automatically do it right, then you made it wrong. Because it needs to be user-friendly.
Yeah, exactly.
Shearwater.
Oh, dope. I swear to God, we don't need to talk about anything. Their warranty is fantastic. All their products are silly, amazing.
S tier.
Absolutely.
100%. I'd go higher than S tier if I could. I'd call it S plus. The warranty is fantastic. The people are super friendly. After I made that video about Shearwater, they sent me a whole bunch of swag that I need to give away.
Man, their stuff is so good, and I feel I will automatically recommend Shearwater no matter what if someone talks to me about a dive computer. And I've definitely heard complaints. It's like, oh, well, just like there are other options. It's like, yeah, I guess there are, but at the same time, why would you?
I always tell people if you can afford a Shearwater,
just do it.
Then buy a Shearwater. If you can't afford a Shearwater, then buy literally anything else because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, go for it.
Anyway, I have a whole video about Shearwater, so I'll put a link up top over his head and click it. But finish this video.
Shearwater's tight. Buy more Shearwater.
Yeah, Shearwater's
Invest in the company, for God's sake. If that thing's not around another 20 years, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I need Shearwater. In my opinion, they've made the biggest contribution to diving. Like, basically changed the way. This is the way. Sherwood.
Woof.
Easiest regs to service on the planet.
Are they? Cool. I'd probably
simple.
immediately give them C for the rest of their nonsense.
Yeah. They do tend to be kind of finicky when they get salty. I'm gonna give them a C.
Sherwood rigs always look like atomic rigs to me. Like they're trying to be an atomic, like sleek, tapered slightly, do kind of like the similar thing, but at the same time you can feel as if it's a little bit cheaper and not nearly as nice.
I haven't used the SR2 or had much experience with it, but I would give them, like, I would have given them a better grade before the SR1, and I saw how many people had problems with those. So yeah, Sherwood's a C.
I feel like Sherwood sounds like a company from the Midwest that you would see in like Bass Pro Shops for scuba diving.
Jesus. Can't think of a greater insult.
I don't know.
SubGravity. S tier.
Bulletproof, fantastic. S tier. Their shipping is so fast. Why is their shipping so fast?
I don't know. They use some. They say they're going to use USPS. They still send FedEx 2-day out here to the islands. Nothing has ever gotten to be faster than when I order it from SubGravity out here in Hawaii. It's insane.
Yeah, everything from that site is great.
Suunto. Mixed feelings. We used them for a long time.
It's only because I know better now.
Yeah, they just.
But at the.
So frustrating to use.
I'll go ahead and start with the benefits of Suunto. How about that?
Reliable. I don't know if we have time for that, but.
Well, outside of Shearwater, I would say that their user interface for the computers is very easily explained. I can explain that to someone in like 2 minutes. When they have a Suunto computer watch, I could say you're gonna press this button for that button for this, and it goes for everything. And that, I would say, remains one of their biggest positives.
So what do you want to give them?
I mean, they use RGPM.
Yeah.
And it sucks. It's so hard to dive a Suunto consistently or do anything rigorous on it. If you compare it to like regular diving, like even as a dive guide, like man, that's going to be your most conservative computer.
Yeah.
So I mean, but aside from that, their manufacturing is good.
Yeah.
They were probably the first ones to really kind of, outside of Oceanic, to really legitimize and make mainstream watch computers. But nowadays, would I dive it?
Let her kneel.
No. Oh, shit. B.
Okay.
B.
Last but certainly not least,
Okay.
Xdeep.
Oh. I wish I knew more. Their bolt snaps are dope.
Dude, I got to put my hands on those today because they came with the new sidewinders that we just got in.
What? Who got the new Sidewinder?
My students are coming in next
Oh, really?
Yep. S tier. Everything they make is awesome. They innovate constantly. Those new regs look really cool. I haven't got my hands on them yet, but I really want to. Big fan of Xdeep. That's exploration kit. I have seen horrible things done to an Xdeep BC and it's still trucking.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love their stuff. Whatever they're doing, just keep doing it. I don't care how you make that gear. I don't care if it's unethically sourced materials. I'm just kidding.
Xdeep from the mines of Sierra Leone. I think that I even like that they restrain themselves and they aren't trying to do a whole bunch of things all over the place. They're keeping it to their wheelhouse, just trying to kill it where they're doing it. And man, if I had the money to go around and get a new Xdeep BC,
I'd love to have one for my single tank rig.
And man, I would do that for all kinds of stuff. That'd be great because they're beautiful.
Okay, so we've gone way too long. Probably going to split this video up into 2 parts. Going to need to, but thanks for checking this out. If you guys agree with us, awesome. If you don't agree with us, let me know in the comments.
Also, eat me.
What you would have rated differently. I'd love to know.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this video or learned something, drop a like because that always is appreciated and helpful. And subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks so much for diving with us, and we'll see you in the water.
Beat by Apollo, stop at new Apollos. Cop a Henny sour, and I'm puffing Jack sour. Yeah, I feel a black power. Yeah, this time it's really ours. It's time to get the bag. Yeah, it's time to